You are lying in a warm sleeping bag. Friends are all around you. You can hear your neighbor breathing. And suddenly, an impact. Darkness. Silence. You try to lift your hand, it won't move. You try to inhale, your chest won't expand. It feels like a concrete slab has been placed on your chest. Above you, there is only 60 centimeters of snow. A trivial depth. But it was enough to kill 13 people at once. Without screams. Without blood. This is the Polar Urals. October 1988. Syktyvkar. Late October. Mikhail Remizov's group is preparing to depart. The occasion is solemn, the hike is dedicated to the 70th anniversary of the Komsomol. It was supposed to be a celebration. A propaganda hike. There are 13 of them. Students, graduates, romantics. The faces in the photos are smiling, full of hope. The youngest is barely an adult. But there was one nuance. The group was a ragtag mix. Only a few were experienced fighters. The rest were beginners, brought along for mass participation. After all, the more people involved, the louder the report for the party. They had to traverse a route in the area of Mount Oika-Chakhl. The terrain is harsh. The Polar Urals are not a walk in the park. The weather began to turn bad right at the start. The local Monsey people shook their heads, "Do not go, the spirits are angry." But the group had a plan. Deadlines. Obligations. They set out on the route just as the sky was turning the color of lead. They were walking straight into the Black Purga. October 29th, Hell on Earth. The group climbs the pass. The wind reaches hurricane force, up to 40 meters per second. Wind like that knocks you off your feet, it steals your breath. Visibility is zero. The temperature plummets. The people are exhausted. Moving forward is impossible. Turning back to the forest is too far. The leader makes a decision: we sleep here. Right on the bare slope. In the death zone. To hide from the wind, they make a fatal mistake. They begin to dig into the snow. They cut into the slope to deepen the tent placement. They didn't know that the snow here isn't fluff. It is a snow slab. A dense, heavy layer resting on a crust of ice. By cutting it from below, they pulled the trigger themselves. Evening. 2 tents are stitched together. Dinner. Laughter. Warmth. The group relaxes. And then. A dull click. A slab of snow breaks off from above. This isn't a giant avalanche sweeping away forests. It is simply a shift of the snow blanket. Heavy as cast iron. The slab covers the tents. Instantly. No one even had time to scream. They searched for them for a long time. Helicopters, volunteers. Relatives were going out of their minds. When rescuers finally found the campsite, they were paralyzed by what they saw. Ski poles sticking out. Skis standing upright, planted in the snow. But no tents. Just a flat, white, silent field. They started digging. The snow was so compressed by the wind that the shovels rang like they were hitting asphalt. Under this shell, they found them. All 13. Lying in tight rows in their sleeping bags. Just as they had gone to sleep, so they remained. Here begin the oddities that make people compare this case to the Dyatlov Pass incident. Why did no one cut the tent? Everyone had a knife at hand. The layer of snow above their heads was less than a meter. It would seem simple: a jerk, a slash, and you are free. But the knives stayed in their sheaths. Experts gave a terrifying answer. The snow slab works like a vacuum press. It hit flat. The pressure instantly squeezed the air out of the tent. The fabric stuck to their faces. Their arms were pinned to their bodies tight. They were alive for some time. They understood everything. But they couldn't move even a finger. It was a trap. Perfect and cruel. Death came from suffocation and hypothermia. Slowly. In total darkness. In cramped quarters, among friends you cannot help. The official version is an accident. The leader's error in choosing a sleeping spot. But the locals still say the mountain simply took them for itself. The case in the Polar Urals is frightening in its ordinariness. There are no UFOs or escaped convicts here. Only the cold calculation of physics. Ignorance of the laws of the mountains. And the price paid for an anniversary hike. 13 lives for one mistake. What do you think? Could they have been saved that night if someone happened to have a knife in their hand at the moment of impact? Or was their fate sealed the second they pitched their tent on that slope? Write your theories in the comments. And remember, mountains know how to keep their secrets. See you in the dark.